Today I decided to start your new about recycling, starting your year off right by being mindful about recycling things. Fortunately for us, we have a good recycling plant just outside of town, and I'm going to tell you even more reasons when this video's over with why I especially chose recycling today. I'm going to share a couple of books that we have about recycling, and then I'm going to read you one book. Recycling the Earth's Resources, and this is for younger children. This is Garbage and Recycling for older children. This is called Garbage. Investigate what happens when you throw it out. And there's 25 projects in there in case you want to know some projects to do using recycling techniques. This one's Follow the Trash, and it's all about recycling also, and it's for younger children. This is Every Day is Earth Day, and we'll talk about this more in April, which is actually Earth Day. This one's called Earth Day Hooray, and it's also about Earth Day, but Earth Day is about recycling the Earth's resources. Cartons, cans, and orange peels. Where does your garbage go? And what I wanted to tell you about orange peel is we have a garden outside, and that can be used for compost. There's a lot of foods that you can use for compost. And last, crafts from recycling. There's all kinds of crafts in here that shows you what to do to recycle. And I'm going to read a book called Why Should I Recycle? And I chose an easier book because we don't have very much time to talk. In my family, we recycle garbage. We return things so they can be used again. We didn't always recycle. We used to throw everything away, and look at the big mess it makes. On our way to school, we always passed Mr. Jones' house. Mr. Jones is our teacher. One day, we saw him putting a special box with cans, bottles, and papers by the gates. What are you doing? This box is for recycling. All these things are taken away and used again, said Mr. Jones. What's recycling? I'll explain at school. In class, Mr. Jones asked what we did with our trash. We put it in the garbage can. It's just old garbage. Mr. Jones said garbage contains lots of useful things that can be recycled or used again. Why should I recycle? Mr. Jones took the class to Recycling Center. It had separate containers for bottles, cans, plastic, clothes, and paper. Now I understand we don't take bottles here. I think they take them in Bay City though. What do you think happens to all the glass that goes in there? Asked Mr. Jones. It all gets broken down to make shiny new bottles. And guess what happens to all the cans that go in there? Asked Mr. Jones. And that's aluminum cans. They get melted down to make new metal things such as bikes and scooters. Wow! And what about the paper and plastic that goes in there and here? Mr. Jones asked. The paper gets shredded and it's used to make books and comics. All things come from garbage. We just throw it away. The plastic can be used to make all kinds of things, including clothes. You might be wearing some, said Mr. Jones. So why waste? Most of the garbage we put in the trash gets buried in dumps that spoil the countryside. It's good to recycle as much as you can, said Mr. Jones. So what else can we recycle? Clothes, books, and toys that you don't want can all be taken to a secondhand store, explained Mr. Jones. The food we buy at supermarket comes in packages that can often be used again. Don't waste, Mom. I told Mom and Dad about our trip to the recycling center. Now we buy recycled things at the store. Recycled paper helps to save trees. We can always recycle the plastic bags too, and you can get reusable bags. We bought our brown bags, thank you. See, they brought their own bags. We also recycle everything at home. Fruit and vegetables peelings get recycled on our new compost heap. The compost helps my mom's prized vegetables to grow. And there's a compost container. And we're going to talk about compost as we talk about our garden. So keep your eyes out for composting information. Now we recycle so much garbage, there's hardly any left to put in the can. Look at that. Recycling is kind to nature. It saves money and it's fun. The end, and there's more about the recycling at the end of this book, and you might want to check out the other books. So we're going to talk later about the other things. So this is the reason I wanted to read to you about recycling today, because me, Cindy, Lindsay, Larry Bishop, Miss Murphy, and some others of my friends, and Kate, collected bottles, clear bottles, and we won this. And we're going to be able to put cans and bottles, paper, and magazines in these containers and take them out to recycling. It's something you can set up in your own home, and if you want to, you can bring your stuff here. And we take it up there every couple of weeks or so whenever we get too much. So don't forget to recycle. It's good for our country and it's good for environment. So goodbye for now.